So you're chillin' one day, minding your own business, either waiting in utter anticipation for Bayonetta 3 after 7 long years, or, gosh, I don't know, maybe completely unaware of this game series that's barely sold around 3 million copies worldwide? Just a hunch, but suddenly you see a viral video from a woman, the voice of Bayonetta herself, claiming she was lowballed to voice the main character in said game. Man, this is tragic. She deserves so much more, you tell yourself, and yeah, while you'd be absolutely right that voice actors pretty much always deserve more than what they get, let's just say there's way more to this story, including official reports, other voice actors speaking out, and corroborators giving weight to certain sides of the story. We're going to go over every detail for the full picture. It's time for a JotoJonny great deduction and course correction. Now, there are so many new details that have creeped up regarding this entire Bayonetta 3 boycott controversy, so let's tackle these one at a time, starting at the beginning. For anyone unfamiliar, Hellena Taylor originally came out with a video where she denounced anyone involved with Bayonetta 3, including the new voice actress Jennifer Hale, because Taylor was offered what she claimed to be $4,000 to voice Bayonetta 3. On the surface, this already sounds quite paltry, until you consider how long it actually took Hellena Taylor to record her lines for the Bayonetta games.
How long did it take for recording and between the first line and until the project was done?
I recorded for 4 days.
Oh wow, you did the was that Bayonetta 1 and 2? Or was
half a day each, so four 4-hour sessions it took me.
Oh wow, I didn't think. I swear Bayonetta talked more than that.
Yeah, no, I'm very quick, and so's Chris Zimmerman Salter. It was literally do 3 lines of each line, and that's it. It's very quick.
Yeah, $4,000 for 16 hours. Doesn't sound so bad now, does it? Most of us poor people barely make $200 in 16 hours. Before tax. Is it me? Or is it also rather selfish of her to say that we should boycott an entire game made by so many people who worked for 5 to 7 years just for her not getting the offer she wanted on 16 hours total of work? That really doesn't sit right with me. Okay, but so what, right? She's the lead actress in this video game. One she claims is in a series that's made over $450 million, not including merchandise, right? Wrong. I have no idea where she got this number. The Bayonetta series, with its games alone, has barely sold around 3 million copies. Even if the games were all sold for $60 a piece, which they definitely weren't, the series at most would have made around 180 million. Now, taking into consideration, Bayonetta 2 makes up a little over 1 million of those 3 million sales, and comes with Bayonetta 1 for the price of $60 total, that means this number is actually closer to 120 million. And when you also consider that the price of Bayonetta 1 has gone on sale for lengthy periods of time for as low as $5, the number drops even lower. Now, as I've mentioned in the past, most of this money goes back to the publishers who invested in the games. In this case, it's Nintendo and Sega. They pay in and fund these games to get the payout that comes from the sales. The developers, the voice actors, and any other talent either doesn't see a penny from the profits or gets very little by the way of residuals or royalties. In this case, Platinum Games probably gets a very small amount in residuals, so they need the game to sell well to get a decent bonus that they truly deserve. And voice actors such as Hellena Taylor or Jennifer Hale only ever got to receive their flat rate. This is an industry standard and therefore an industry-wide problem. Boycotting Bayonetta 3 actually wouldn't have helped anything. It would have only hurt hardworking talent and destroyed the franchise. Meanwhile, the real culprits, being Nintendo and Sega, who didn't offer more money to the project and its talent, wouldn't have batted an eye, since they have plenty of other games coming out, and especially when you consider that those other games come from much larger series that sell multi-millions easily, such as Mario, Sonic, Zelda, and who could ever forget the largest of them all, Pokemon. If boycotting was ever going to work, we would have to boycott all of these games. And even then, good luck rallying enough people to do that when some of these have sold over 20 million copies on any single game in the franchise within the last few years. So, we've already deduced that boycotting the game would only hurt the developers who worked for 7 long years, presumably under crunch conditions, for very little pay to make their one passion project that they know doesn't sell well already, and who had nothing to do with the decisions made for the voiceover talent. But, is this actually what happened? Surely the game's sales plummeted. No, funny enough, they didn't. Even with the news and general attitude tailoring to Taylor's favor. Get it? And with Hideki Kamiya making Platinum Games look so bad by saying that it's sad and deplorable about the untruth, which in itself wasn't an awful statement until you read his follow-up sentence stating, "Beware of my rules." For anyone who doesn't know, these rules, as he calls them, entails him blocking anyone who writes to him in English. Yeah, during a time when we're discussing a serious topic. I mean, really, Kamiya? But yeah, amidst all this, people actually bought the game more. Seriously, I'm not joking. Bayonetta 3 went from not being on any bestsellers lists at all to climbing to the number 27th or so spot on Amazon's best-selling games and as high as number 9 on the new game releases page. Y'all were wrong for that, for real. Or at least, that's what the general sentiment was at the time. But then, the weekend ended and the work week started back up. Now everyone else involved in the debacle was back in the office and could provide clarification on the incident. But before we discuss that, we should ask, why in the world did the sales for Bayonetta 3 skyrocket when this was nothing but negative publicity at the time? Well, to put it simply, Hellena Taylor did the unthinkable and got nearly 10 million views on her video. That's millions more eyes on the Bayonetta series than ever before. Those unfamiliar with the games likely looked it up and said, "Wow, how can I turn down this game? It looks phenomenal," and pre-ordered on the spot. Conversely, those familiar seemed to double down on their convictions to get it because they knew they wanted to support Platinum Games, who was wrongly being accused as a scapegoat for Helena's troubles. Now, with that out of the way, Jennifer Hale, the new voice actress for Bayonetta and Bayonetta 3, decided to be a heckin' baddie with absolute class and poise, releasing an official statement regarding Hellena Taylor and Bayonetta 3. In her statement, she reads that all voice actors reserve the right to be paid well, and that she's advocated this for years. She even mentioned that her reputation precedes her, referencing that she's a well-known activist for fair and proper wages in the voice acting community. She then proceeds to call for everyone who hasn't already to consider how Bayonetta 3 was made by a team of passionate members who worked very hard to make it as quality a product as it is, and that we all resolve our differences in a peaceful way. And honestly, she worded this so well. This statement pointed out that there is right and wrong to be seen in both sides. On one hand, voice actors and every talent involved, honestly, absolutely deserve great pay. That's just a fact. On the other hand, boycotting a passion project game like this is not the proper conclusion. I'll discuss real solutions for these issues towards the end of this video, but first, there's a huge bombshell that dropped right after this statement released. And that is in the form of official documentation reviewed by Bloomberg and 2 individuals who were familiar with the negotiations. The individuals could not provide their names due to NDA, but the official documents lended some shocking revelations that changed the narrative in an unexpected way. It turns out, Platinum tried really hard to hire Hellena Taylor back to voice Bayonetta. The offer Hellena mentioned for $4,000 was actually per session, and Platinum scheduled 5 sessions. This would mean Taylor's pay would actually have been around $20,000 for 5 days. That is a true game changer of knowledge, and one that proves how important it is to get a full picture before jumping to prior conclusions. Not only did Taylor deny the offer, but she asked for a 6-figure sum and residuals, directly contradicting her previous statement saying she didn't ask for the world. Now, while I believe residuals are more than justified, a 6-figure sum on top of that from a game that likely will have barely sold 1 million copies was going to be a big no from Nintendo and Sega, who handle all the funds and allocation of funds for the franchise. They want that profit from investment after all. The Platinum Games developers also get really small residuals by comparison for, again, 7 years of work to make one passion project. Nintendo and Sega would have definitely had to fund more money to provide Taylor's demands. Unfortunately, it seems like Hideki Kamiya was only able to get them to shell out so much before Taylor denied the project altogether. And mind you, these negotiations apparently extended for a while before a recasting took place. Platinum Games seemed eager to have Taylor return, but Taylor didn't seem eager to return at all. Platinum Games even reached out one more time to Hellena Taylor after the role was officially recast, and in what's likely one of the biggest info drops we've ever subtly got for Bayonetta 3, the team asked Hellena to cameo in Bayonetta 3 for the pay of 1 session, to which she declined yet again. Now, this statement from Bloomberg actually told us a major plot element that fans have speculated endlessly on before the release of Bayonetta 3, and that is whether we're playing as a grown-up Cereza or as the original Bayonetta in Bayo 3. Taylor's requested cameo all but subtly confirmed this massive theory that the original Bayonetta from 1 and 2 would be guest starring in 3, while the majority of the game is played as a grown-up version of pure Cereza, the only Cereza that was pure enough to awaken the left eye of the world, and the only Bayonetta to not slumber for 500 years and gain even more power and experience than ever before because of it, as showcased by the new gameplay mechanics, Demon Slave and Demon Masquerade. It not only seems the original Bayonetta is a cameo this time around, but that she will not be voiced by Hellena Taylor like we all hoped. With the official documentation in the open, Bayonetta 3 sales have shot up even further. At the time of recording this, Bayonetta 3 is at the number 5 spot on the Amazon's new game releases page, just under God of War, Mario Rabbids, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and directly above Splatoon 3 and Persona 5 Royal. Whether she meant to or not, Hellena Taylor single-handedly saved Bayonetta 3 from being yet another low-selling Bayonetta game, and may have even saved the franchise as a whole. Honestly, she deserves compensation for that alone. But perhaps this could actually mean a better offer for her in Bayonetta 4. Who knows? I know people have been saying her career may be over because of this, but Platinum Games and Hideki Kamiya adored Hellena, so I can see them understanding her frustrations and trying to make it better next time. What can we learn from this experience, and what are some of the solutions? Number 1. Voice actors, and many other talent involved in the entertainment industry, are underpaid and mistreated. They, at the very least, deserve residuals or royalties. Unfortunately, neither are offered in the gaming or animation industries for voice actors. And if they are, it's very rare. This needs to change. We can change this by forming better unions than SAG-AFTRA, who are notorious for allowing mistreatment of their voice actors and giving up on their fight for the rights to residuals and royalties. We should remain vocal about this till the day we stop breathing. Number 2, we should never jump to conclusions without a full picture, and or wait for clarification from both sides on any given topic. Number 3, we need to learn to hold the correct parties accountable. A good rule of thumb is that the larger the corporation, the more likely they are to be the true villain. In this case, publishers such as Nintendo, Sega, Sony, Microsoft, etc., who fund projects for game studios are responsible for funding a fair and respectable pay for every talent involved. I hope this helped you understand the full weight of the Bayonetta 3 boycott situation, as well as help provide solutions for bettering the future for all of us. I've talked a lot about voice actors and talent in the entertainment industry deserving fair and proper wages, but really, we all deserve fair and respectable compensation. I, myself, even struggle to make ends meet. I know a lot of you resonate with that. It's becoming increasingly harder and harder to live a life of independence and comfort. I truly hope we band together to make a better world for all of us. I've been johtojonny. Feel free to check out my video explaining the power structure of the game industry right after this one. It's gonna pop up soon. And stick around the channel for more.